So we will get started. My name is Adrienne Hall, and I am the Faculty-Led and Events Coordinator for the University Education Abroad Office. I just wanted to pop in and say hello and introduce you to Cassander Smith, and she is the director, well, one of the directors for UA in Oxford this year. Paul Phelps will also be hopping on sometime soon. He was finishing up class. And he is the other director. They will start the presentation here in just a minute. Just wanted to let you know that this is recorded, and that is it. All right, your turn.
All right, hello everyone. I'm going to share my screen real quick so you guys can see this little quick PowerPoint presentation that we prepared to make sure you guys get all the information you need, all the great information. Listen, like this study abroad program to Oxford, in my opinion, is one of the best ones at the University of Alabama. We've had this program now for some 40 years, and we usually take around 40 to 45 students. They go to Oxford, they stay on the campus of Worcester, and I'll tell you all about that in a second. Real quick, my name, as Adrienne was saying, I'm Dr. Cassander L. Smith. I'm an associate professor over in the English department, and I co-direct this program with Dr. Paul Phelps, who's in the Honors College. So real quick, like about the program, again, it's located in Oxford. You guys see the little map right there. And we take students in summer term 2, so that's in July. We haven't identified these specific dates yet in July because we have to work that out with the folks over at Oxford, but it's going to essentially be the month of July. So the dates will more or less coincide with summer term 2. And then these are just some little pictures to kind of give you an idea of what the landscape looks like. This is one of those kind of landscape images. And then this is an image of one of the libraries. Well, like the main library in Oxford is called the Bodleian. And this is just like one of those really highly revered spaces where everybody who considers himself a serious scholar wants to be able to go to the Bodleian, to check out the collections, to study. Like you have tourists who come to Oxford just to look at the Bodleian, but most people can't get in. Like it's a very sacred space. But if you come with us to Oxford, you too can have access to the Bodleian. So in terms of the courses, we offer an option among 5 courses. So for next summer, we're going to have several of these are going to be honors courses. And here's Paul. Paul is coming in now in a second, the other co-director. So we have 5 courses, and these are all going to be options for honors if any of you are interested in honors. So we have one fine arts course. We have one that's in British literature. We have a course that's on Black sails and the early pirates of the Caribbean. So we talk about piracy in the 16th, 17th, 18th century. Then we have a history course that's focused on music and race in England since World War II or post-World War II. And then we have one on early modern British history that'll be something dealing with the Tudors more or less. And then of these 5 courses, you pick 2 of the 5, and of course you pick 2 that fit with whatever your own needs are in terms of your transcript. And we meet Mondays through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So you'll meet in one of your classes for an hour and 15 minutes, and then you'll go to the second class for an hour and 15 minutes. And then you have the rest of the day to do homework for those classes or to move around Oxford and get to know the space that you're in. And the reason we do classes on Monday through Thursday is to give you time on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to travel around if you want to outside of Oxford. Like we frequently have students who on the weekends, they plan trips to Paris, to Brussels, they go up to Scotland. They tend to travel places outside of Oxford, but there's also plenty to do in Oxford itself on the weekends. So in terms of the faculty, again, I and Dr. Phelps, we are co-directors, and we also teach 2 of the classes. And we have among the faculty, Professor Alan Jones, who's an emeritus instructor in Honors College. We have Dr. Sharon Green, who's in the history department. And then we have Dr. Kate McCow. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Paul. And she's actually faculty at Oxford. So you will be able to get an opportunity to actually learn from faculty there in Oxford to kind of see what teaching and learning is like in that space. And then in terms of accommodations, again, we are going to stay on one of the campuses of Oxford. It's called Worcester College. It's very, very beautiful grounds, y'all. Like, it's just a lovely place to walk around. The one thing you don't want to do is walk around in the grass here. Like, that's considered a huge no-no. And you can see right by how beautiful the lawn is that, you know, there's a reason they don't want you walking around. And y'all, like, one of the greatest treats is to watch them mowing the lawn. You will never, ever, ever see people cut grass the way these people cut grass at Oxford. It is just something to see. Anyway, we will stay on the campus of Worcester. It's really nice because in paying for your accommodations, you get breakfast each morning and you get dinner each evening, Monday through Thursday. And then you are on your own in terms of dinner on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that's just one way to kind of help you like manage finances too, to know that some of your meals are included in the cost of accommodations. And then here is the contact information, like in case you have any questions you want to ask me or you want to ask Dr. Phelps. And since you're here, Paul, is there anything that you want to add in before we turn it over for Q&A, for questions and answers?
I don't think so. I'm sorry I was late. I was in class. Oxford is an incredible experience. Worcester is, I mean, you know, Dr. Smith has said it, Worcester is just an incredible place to have a summer experience. It's just an exorbitantly gorgeous and, you know, authentic looking college. It actually has sort of 3 different time periods built into it. There's, you know, Georgian structures, there's medieval structures. I mean, some of the buildings in Worcester go back to the 12th century. There's, you know, more modern Gothic architecture as well. It really is just a sort of exorbitantly special place. And, you know, Dr. Smith said this as well. Oxford is just, you know, in sort of, you know, South Central England. So you can be in so many places in Europe in just a short amount of time. So it's a really great hub to, you know, connect with other cultures, you know, outside of the UK as well. And I think that the program, you know, both enables you and encourages you to do that.
Oh, and one more thing we should say too is that one of the things we do is provide a Brit Rail pass for you as part of the fees that you pay, and that Brit Rail pass will allow you to travel around to various places in England. So some of the travel is kind of built in for you, and we plan a couple like trips as a group as well. Like we haven't settled on what those trips are going to be for summer 2021, but in the past we've taken students to Canterbury. We've gone to Shakespeare's birthplace, Stratford upon Avon. Of course, we take students into London to see the sites in London. So you'll get chances to travel around with the group if you know, like if you are a first-time traveler abroad, then there'll be chances for you to travel in community and not have to go out by yourself.
What we generally do, my expectation would be this year, we try to tailor trips, excursions built on the classes that we're offering. So I know, Dr. Smith, you might take your students to Dover, which is a port town, which is, you know, about 50 kilometers northwest of Oxford. I know that Dr. Green will probably take her students, you know, perhaps to a concert in London, or, you know, to Abbey Road, you know, to see you know, some other you know, culturally valuable parts of the music scene in London. I usually take you know, my classes to, you know, more than one you know, play, both in Oxford, both in London, as Cassia said, in Stratford upon Avon, which is again about 40 kilometers north of Oxford. So I do think the program does try to tailor the kinds of activities that we give students over a particular summer to the classes that we're teaching. I don't know what Dr. McKeel will do with her course, but I imagine it will, right, the chance to visit maybe Hampton Court, which is the court of Henry VIII, the Tudor family, lineage house, possibly also some other country houses as well. The other thing, I'm sure Cassie has some sort of final things to say. Our website, which is, Cassie had it on the previous slide, which is just oxford.ua.edu. I do try to update this website as information comes through to us. There's also lots of pictures on the website, both of Oxford, of past trips. We've got on the website information about, we've got faculty bios, you know, not that we're really interesting, but we tried to write them in an interesting way. And we've got course descriptions, which will just give you a normal course description, but give you a little bit deeper insight into the kinds of things that we'll be doing in these classes. You can access all of that information. It's just right there. It's very simple, oxford.ua.edu. I would really encourage you, if you're interested in the program, to just check out the website.
Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the presentation part. So we can entertain any questions that you guys may have. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And any questions you guys may have, we can try to answer them as best we can.
Do you want to talk about the possibility of, if the program can't go, how you might swap to an online version or something like that?
Right, and that was in fact what happened this past summer, summer 2020, when we had to cancel the trip then. We did move to an online format, and it just so happened that most students, they decided that they would hold off and try to go next year so that they could be physically on location. But we would have an option to take the classes virtually if the pandemic doesn't allow us to actually travel to Oxford. So you can keep that in mind, like just in terms of like, you know, you need classes to meet certain requirements on your transcript, then the courses at Oxford can still do that, even if the program, even if the travel component is canceled.
Well, we can also, on this point, two of the courses, the history courses, are both cross-listed with honors credit. It's also common for students to do an honors by contract on the program as well. And we've entertained, you know, those solicitations in the past. And it usually results in, I know we've had plenty of students that you know, have prior experience with either study in Britain or just sort of general knowledge of England and the continent, and want to take their own learning at the University of Alabama and apply it to the program in a more specialized way. Honors by contract is a great way for doing that. If the program does you know, shift to a kind of online capacity, it may be that, right, that we'll offer online versions of these courses, but they'll lose the interactive component of the courses being built into Oxford. So obviously an EN 215, right, a British Literature Survey course can be taught anywhere. But we hope for the courses that we do on site in Oxford to tailor the courses so that they really maximize the resources that you have, you know, both at your fingertips and in walking distance while we're there.
Mm-hmm.
And is there kind of a guideline on how students might be graded and how the courses are laid out coursework wise?
It varies, right, from course. Like each professor, of course, you know, will have their own syllabus with their own, you know, assignments, and but like you can reasonably expect that the courses will have the same kinds of requirements that we would have here in Tuscaloosa on campus. So there will be reading. You know, you will have some major research papers that you have to write. In fact, like we will give, that's partly why we get you access to the Bodleian, because we assume that you're going to use the library as a resource for your projects. And again, you know, this most of the, well, no, all of these classes are like 300-400 level, with the exception of the fine arts and the Brit Lit. Both of those are honors. So all of that to say that these courses are going to require a certain amount of rigor, but you know, like, we don't have any doubts or whatever that students will be able to meet the expectations for the courses.
It's an odd thing. I mean, it's an odd thing to say, and you know, students don't always like to hear that the pleasure of being in Oxford is studying. That is, but I have, you know, Cassie and I have, Dr. Smith and I have worked on the program, you know, for a few years, and I can't name a student that we've had on the trip in the past that hasn't enjoyed studying in the infrastructure in Oxford. It is, you know, labyrinthine and maze-like, and it has this, you know, just kind of, you know, lovely papyrus smell, and it gives you the sense that, you know, just walking in the door, you know, you know, all of us are, you know, very, you know, highly intelligent, but your intelligence just goes up as you, you know, sort of enter into the threshold. And you learn, yes, and you learn things that you didn't know that they existed to be learned. And so the classes will definitely push you into the libraries, actually help you do some things that you might not otherwise be able to do at the University of Alabama, do primary research. We work with, you know, books that were bounded in the 15th century, 16th century, 17th century, possibly for, you know, Dr. Green's course on music and race to actually get into, you know, different kinds of records and CDs that were used in the BBC, you know, in the 60s and the 70s. I mean, the opportunities for hands-on learning in Oxford are, well, everything's limited, but they are as close to limitless as you can get. So I really think that the grading of the program is also built into just getting students to have these really unique experiences. The caveat here is, you know, Dr. McKeough, being an Oxford professor, Oxford has a really goofy grading system. And so I didn't really tell you about, you know, you might get surprised, right? If you write a paper for Dr. McKeough and you get a 76 on it, that's a really good grade. You know, in America, we might think that's not a good grade at all.
Right.
But the grading scales, you know, are really goofy. And usually what we do when we have British faculty teach on the program is we encourage them to actually use the British grading scales, and then we try to interpret those scales ourselves for what's appropriate for, because it gives the students another unique experience, right?
Right.
An experience of having a grading scale that is not normal for what you're used to in the American system.
Are the courses going to be the same ones that you were planning to offer last time?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't catch everything because I was commuting, actually. I just got back.
Right. So we are doing the a 200 level fine arts. We're doing an English 215, so that's British Lit 1. We're doing an English 3/400 level, which is Pirates of the Early Caribbean. We're doing a history course. What's it called? What's the number, Paul? The 363, I think.
I think it's 362, 363. So it's listed on the registrar as either Tudor Stuart Britain or Early Modern Britain. But the particular course that the faculty is teaching is a course on the Reformation.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a second history course that's a contemporary history course on like music. Was it Motown, the Beatles, and London or something like that?
Yeah, so Sharon is Dr. Green on it, music.
Right, by Dr. Green.
Well, thank y'all so much for coming. If you missed part of this presentation, it was recorded and it will be posted online where you can go back and watch it. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our office or to Dr. Smith and Dr. Phelps.
Thank you guys for showing.
Thank you. Thank you, Adrian.
Yeah, thanks for putting this together, Adrian.
Yeah, y'all have a great day.
All right, take care, y'all.